I feel like we've been through like a tornado, like just to be generic, like we've been through a tornado and we're still in a tornado.
Just in life in general, you're saying? Or you're talking
Just
about
life.
Just life.
Like the last 2 weeks. All right, we should do like a relaxation. We're so calm. Our eyes and bodies are now rocks. We're one with the floor and the carpet. We are now one. I only slept.
Is
like
this what death feels like?
That's pretty good. Death.
Sweet release. Okay, I'll do ASMR sounds. That'll trigger my misophonia while you do the hum.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Pluck. Pluck.
Feelings. Macaroni with the chicken strips.
You're feeling weird. It was weird. Weird feelings. Weird.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back.
We're back.
Here we go. Another one.
Back to life.
Back to reality.
Cool, dude. Cool. I feel like the last time we were here it was so chill that we need to maintain that chillness. Like, cool, dude.
I feel like, it's a great balance between like being very relaxed and calm, but also like being in a good mood.
In a good mood and, a little burst of energy once in a while.
So today we want to talk about one thing and one thing only. And that's, what are you afraid of?
Are you afraid of the dark? We should be dark.
Okay, it'll be dark for the Halloween special. Watch out for that.
Everything's dark. We're naked. And our eyes
They
glow.
can't see, and it's just the candlelight.
It's just a bush.
Just massive bush. Our biggest fears. What are we afraid of? And I thought that would be an interesting thing to talk about because it's, I don't know, it's just something that you kind of deal with, but it's always in the back of your head. It's something that pops in and out, and sometimes you don't feel it, sometimes you do.
Yeah, you don't always think
And everyone has it. Everyone has like their biggest
of
fear.
fear.
Yeah.
I think I have many fears. As far as biggest fear. I would say one thing is that I'm scared of is having Alzheimer or just like losing my memory.
Okay, so that's one of your biggest fears.
It's like just the fact of not remembering. I feel like memories is what people are scared of to lose the most because when you die, it's like the memories of your family, your friends, the things you've done, and to be like if you lose that at an early age, that's kind of it's like you have to train. It's like the Notebook, right? He like his loved one and Ryan Gosling. He's like trying to like what's the girl's name that's in there, but then she loses her memory because they're old. It starts off as them being old, and then it's like I'm just searching for you in your brain, my loved one. But it's like it's like
sad.
All the things that you know about it. It's like even like losing memory of like how to edit videos or how to do a thing.
Oh, you're worried about that? Like
no, but just
skills?
it's just the main thing would be memories of like my families and friends.
If someone has Alzheimer's and their grandson or daughter like goes to visit them, and they're just like, "Hi, do I know you?" And you're like you're my mother. Like it's the saddest thing. Yeah,
like
that's
I
terrifying.
feel like as like let's say I lose my memory and then I'm not aware. Like I don't know. But it hurts the person that I love. Like that doesn't. It was like my daughter or like my parents or whatever. Or you. It's like you're like, hey Johnny. I'm like, who are you? Like, dude, we're fucking buddies, man. And you're like you just the fact that you can't talk to somebody, just have to remind them all the time.
Yeah,
and it's like repeating. Is that what Alzheimer's like? You lose memory and then sometimes it comes back.
It could,
and then you keep.
That's the thing. I think if you were to get to the point where you have like 100% on like full on Alzheimer's, then like you don't remember anything, right? And at that point, it's terrible for everyone around you. But for you, I think it's like you are so lost. It's like doesn't even really matter anymore. It's the worst part though is the transition between, right?
Yeah.
As you start forgetting things, and you're like. First it's like you can't remember, like, I can't remember that. And you're trying. And then it's like, then you start like forgetting things, and then people with Alzheimer's start like, they put their shoes on the wrong way, and then they like it just keeps escalating and getting worse and worse. And you real and like it's the moment when you're still aware that you can't remember. You know what I mean? You're not fully gone. That's when it's like that would be the worst part.
Because it feels like you're alone. Because you're coming back, you're like, oh, now I know what happens, but in any second or I don't know, hour, whatever,
you could lose it.
I just be like, it's just blank.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, is there like an example that's on the internet of like how people see or how they think when they have Alzheimer's? Like, there has to be like some sort of a demo or like just like
a demo.
Well, not a demo, but like
have you been wanting to try Alzheimer's? Try our VR demo. See what is.
You know what I mean? Like the way, like, oh, this is what, I don't know, deaf people hear things, or you know, like just an interpretation, I guess.
Interesting.
Of that, you know, like
this is what a person with Alzheimer had. Like
it's like dementia, or people that are schizophrenics. There's like they hear all these voices. It's like dude, imagine hearing that every day. Like
okay, so speaking of, not to transition away from your thing, because we'll definitely come back to that. But one of my biggest fears, it's similar, but it's a little different. Is like a fear of becoming like crazy, and specifically like schizophrenic. Like literally like losing my mind and just like seeing people, you know, like seeing things, and talking, people. Hearing people, wanting to like do crazy things, like just like going crazy. Like that's a genuine, like sometimes if I think, even just thinking about it sometimes can bring my anxiety up, and like, it's a fear of like even just thinking about it could make it happen kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Or just look at like, sometimes you see them like homeless people, they have like, they're kind of, some of them are crazy and then live in the streets, and you're like, I don't want to end up like that where I'm just like yelling all the time, you know?
But that's almost like a crazy where you're so far gone that like nothing makes sense. I'm talking about like me still feeling like me, and I'm still like a sound person, like a person who's in control. It's just that I'm seeing fake, like I'm seeing like
you're imagining things.
I'm seeing a fake like evil clown in the corner, and he's talking to me all the time, and it's like that's what schizophrenia is. Okay, I say that specifically because there's like this series on YouTube. There's a channel where they like interview people with like severe mental disabilities.
Yeah.
Some are like, you know, are heavily like challenged, and some are artistic and they're just describing what it's like. Some have like are bipolar. They're describing what that's like.
The whole.
So one of them is like with a girl who's like severe schizophrenic. So what she describes is, like I said, she has a like killer clown that she sees all the time. He talks to her.
Okay.
And like tells her things and tells her to do things, and like she sees him. And so she's described like this whole channel is to help.
So
like
she's a young kid. Maybe she's seeing Ronald McDonald. He's like, I want McDonald's.
That would be sick. That would be like, I mean, that's still freaky.
But wait. Let's get to the bottom. It's like you're scared of clowns though. That's one of your fears.
That's another big fear.
So it's like
that's a combination of two fears.
Like you would shit your pants.
I would have a full-on revisit of my past experience on a daily basis.
Why are you so scared of clowns? What is it about clowns? Like, did something happen when like
nothing has ever happened? It's just I don't like the overjoyous nature of them. The smile and happy no matter what. It's so fake, and it's the giggly come here kids, like it's
Pennywise from
there's something. Yeah, that's it. Like, why is Pennywise a terrifying thing? I don't know, but it is. So it's because it's like it's hiding.
It's like it's wearing a shell. It's like hiding its true self. Yeah. Well, it's also because
it's sad and it's
because there's a serial killer. Like, what's his name? Wayne Gacy, whatever.
Yeah,
he was dressed as a clown.
Yeah, that doesn't.
And it's like
for me,
like serial killer. It was like doing kids party, and it's like he was murdering people.
Yeah,
there's like a whole thing. Yeah, clowns are kind of like they're not funny though.
That's the thing. Like they aren't actually funny. They're not actually fun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't like. That fucking smile and the oversized shoes.
Oversight. Yeah, why is it like
squeaky little toy things and the giggle and the fucking painted lips? And I don't know. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's just something like it just feels off.
Yeah.
What they wear, like the colors don't match or just so colorful.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's just not.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know. Maybe I was traumatized as a kid and I've like blocked out that memory. Okay, back to that video. So she's saying like, all right now I'm talking about him and like none of you can see him. And she's like, look, it was really hard for her because by talking about him, it makes him real. So she's like describing like, I generally try to not talk about him and I do not try to look at him because someone asked like, the interview was like, so is he here with us now?
Oh.
And she's like, I try to not answer that because that makes it more real.
Yeah.
Right? Because she was like, oh, where is he? And she's like, I'm not going to say. But obviously, like in her head, I'm literally right now, I'm telling you this and I'm telling you right now, I have goosebumps right now. Like I just got it all down my legs.
Like it's like, hey, there's a clown in this corner.
Yeah, and she, like it's as though like the deadly clown is like right over here, but she's like just trying to do the interview and she doesn't want to say and like look over because if she looks over and makes eye contact with it, it like grounds it and makes it even more real. So like some of her coping thing is to like not look at it and like, dude, it just watching that video, I was like, why am I watching this? Because it like gave me all these ideas. You know what I mean? Of like, oh my God, what if that was me? What if that happened to me and just
you see it
like one day I just like because schizophrenia can be a thing that is just genetic. It's something that can just happen like that. Some people have like done drugs or had like severe anxiety.
Something
triggers it, and you just like lose it. And that's just like such a huge fear because that could just happen and you can't control it or stop it. And there's no cure. Yeah. There's no cure.
But see, like that person to experience that and that seizing, that's like a case, right? It's like that person experienced that. And I feel like, like I watch a lot of horror movies and what they do in horror movies, it's the same thing. It's like a small child. It's like, oh, I see little Sammy there in the corner. But then in films, it's like they like magnify that fear and then put it on screen visually and then you see it. And then it's like, that's, I feel like all the fears are just like horror films are not about demons, but it's like all about mental health kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then putting that on camera or on a screen just to make it as like entertaining as it can be. But it feels like that's the starting point. It's like, psychologists or psychiatrists interviewing these people or individuals that have severe mental health that are seeing, and then our way of like not coping, but like
trying to talk about
it is like by making scare films, right?
Interesting theory.
Because the way you're talking was like I've seen numerous movies where the kid's like, I see a little person in the
but
corner.
It's real life. That's actually like the horror films that like terrify me the most are the ones that deal with like mental illness and just like people being disturbed in like a real way.
It's too real.
It's too real. That's the thing. That's an interesting theory though, that like to present it in that way of like, hey, maybe they're doing it because it's something that they're thinking about or scared of. And it's just like a way to, not to cope, like you said, but to like,
just to like
put it out there, process
it
and try to imagine. And interesting theory.
Because like a lot of the demon possession stuff, it always starts with like, oh, I have a presence or feel, but maybe it's just mental illness the whole time. And they do kind of like tackle like, oh, you're just seeing things. Yeah. Or the doctors are like, yes, I think she's having a case of blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, then they put, there's a demon and I'm possessed. And it's like, it's fun because I guess we like to scare ourselves. I don't know. It's like an adrenaline rush for me.
Being scared is an adrenaline rush. So yeah. I just don't like being scared when I'm alone.
Because you're alone and you never know what's going to happen.
Because I'm alone and my imagination just goes wild and like, I don't know, maybe that's why it's linked to the fear of the schizophrenia of like the power of my imagination to like take me over the edge. Like, okay, I'll be honest. There was a time, this is not necessarily linked to fear, but it was a fear. There was a time when I had the most amount of anxiety in my life and I didn't know why and I didn't know what was causing it. And it was creating this thing where, so when I walk home, I take the metro home And when I walk, I have to cross a little bridge.
Okay.
And it has like a low railing. And in that time period when I was going through all of this anxiety, I had so much stuff going through my head. Whenever I'd have to cross like near that bridge, in my head, I would suddenly get anxious and like start having this fear of like these thoughts of like, what if I somehow made myself jump off the bridge?
I think a lot of people have that. You know when you go up a building too?
I think it's
It's
called.
like, what if I just jump and what happens?
Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What if I made myself do it? Do you know what I mean? Like I had no feeling of wanting to do it. I had no
But it just
feeling
happened.
of I had no suicidal thoughts. I had no bad
it's
feelings.
just a
It was
fear
just
of, accident.
oh my God, what if I were to go crazy again or not again, but what if I were to go crazy
Again.
and just somehow decide to jump?
On the freeway.
Like, what if I did that to myself? And so as I'm like walking, I'm just like nothing's happening. It's just like this anxiety and fear. And it was like the weirdest thing because it's like, I don't want to. I have no desire to.
Yeah.
I'm not like depressed to that degree. I may be a little sad, but not to that degree. So I'm like, what's making me scared of myself doing something? It's weird.
Maybe you're just curious, like what happens?
But no, I don't
happens
think
after?
I know what happens.
Dude, I feel like a lot of us have a curious, like what happens after death? Like if we could talk about, like we're in fear,
yeah,
but like death is like you know, it's like there's
Hold
nothing.
on. Before I forget, the thing of the falling, because I think you were saying like some people are on the top of a building and you're like drawn towards the edge. That it is called something, like people have a name for it. It's called, at least in French, it's called l'appel du vide.
Oh, that's his name? Damn.
Yeah. So
This
it's
guy
like
is,
you're drawn towards like the emptiness, like the nothingness. Like the edge is
The
like
devil.
pulling.
It's the devil.
Yeah, it's almost like the edge is pulling you down over, right? L'appel du vide, the call of the, what's the right word? Absence or
Absence of appel. Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah. Anyway, that was just before I forget that's like a thing that many people
a
experience,
thing.
which is
It's like
interesting.
misophonia. It's a
But sorry, you were saying speaking of death.
I think it's more the curiosity of like what happens. Like, is there aliens? Are we gonna see like? Are they gonna reveal us all the secrets of the world? It's like, oh shit, JFK was not killed by Oswald, or it's like what is like is it like a
Hold on, you think if we die, we're gonna get like a
big reveal.
the United States top secrets? Like,
yeah, just everything. It's like the internet like on steroids. Like you know about.
oh, you're just plugged into the matrix basically, and you're like
you know about
downloaded everything, right? It's
Yeah,
just
like what happened to I don't know, like people that disappeared.
interesting. I've never thought about it.
Or
like
it's
that.
like, or it could be like, well, what if, do I have a choice to reincarnate into a thing, or there's no choice where you're in line,
yeah.
and you have to well, today you're, if you would have been here a bit earlier, you could have been this, but now you're stuck to being a meth head. Like this is what's gonna happen to your life. You're gonna be born, and then you're gonna be a meth head when you're an adult. You know what? It's just like it's like what?
Well, okay. So those are all options. What if we're gonna talk about this? Like,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I don't know.
What would you like it to be,
I
or where do you think it could be?
like you just where does your soul go, or like like the movie Soul? It's like where does it go? Maybe you just become another human and that's it.
I think most realistically, boring straight answer.
You're dead.
You're dead, and that's it. But what I would like to hope that it is a bit of like I kind of believe in karma, right? A little bit. Like it does feel like things are connected to some degree, and every action has a consequence, right?
Yes.
No energy, like this is a physics thing, right? Like no energy is ever lost, right? It's always transferred from one thing to the next. So it would be nice to believe that, all right, so if you die, like your energy, the soul that you have, like everything that you are, like
Goes
exists in
elsewhere.
some way. Whether I don't know if it would go to this whole idea of heaven, because to me, I feel like that's something that we created in our heads.
Oh, you're going to hell now.
That's fine. And even the idea of reincarnation seems like a little phantasmical.
But there's some people that have said like, oh, I've
and that would be awesome because I think reincarnation is cool because it's just like recycling and retrying and redoing and like that's cool. But I almost feel like when you die, so your soul lives on through everything that you've done, all the people that you've spoken to, all the people that care about you, like your energy is in them, right? The way that you've affected them.
Yeah.
The way that you've spoken to them, like you somehow live on through them. Like it's not lost. It's just, I guess that like doesn't really lead to anything, right? It's kind of just it carries on and everything that they do carries on through them. So it's not a literal like
a thing or
like Tim, continue on as a new being. It's more like Tim exists as a being. We all, even though we die, we never really die because the energy just keeps going out from where we've affected and like we're just all the shits you've taken in your life have led to something that goes here, that goes there.
Yeah, we're just orbs. We're just orbiting around.
I don't know.
Or it's like Looper or Groundhog Day, which just restarts.
Wouldn't that be wild? But like
but then you get to redo things. It's like or maybe.
Okay, no, but the thing is, you would restart, and I guess you would be a baby again, and you wouldn't remember anything, and you're just doing it over and
over, and then we're back at this podcast. We're
right
saying
here,
this,
right now,
and then it's like over and over again,
just over and over.
Yeah, but it's like the fear of death is a real thing. Like people,
absolutely,
I think, but I feel like the fear of death is different. It's like I think and it ties back to memories. It's like when you die, and that's it. But it's just you're gonna miss all these people, and then it's all like,
well, you won't because you're dead.
But you're dead. But like I feel like that's what most people's fear is. Like I was like, well, what if I didn't say sorry to this person, or what if I should have done this before I die? Like regrets, and then like those are some fears. Like it's like I don't want to go to the grave and have settled things, but it's always like a fear of like. It's tied like because like you die, and then
that's the thing. We are all going to die, except for maybe Elon Musk or some people that can figure this shit out.
Freeze myself like in Austin Powers, and then baby, groovy, shagadelic.
We're all gonna die, right? So the fear of death is kind of silly. I have it too. Like I think it's more the fear of not doing what you wanted to do. And accomplishing the things that you wanted to do and living a full life before you die, right?
Yeah.
Because I've lost people in my life, and some of them were really late, like they were ready to go, right? And to me, that's not scary because it's like they were in their 90s. It was like time, right?
Yeah.
That's not as scary. It's just when you lose something that is. Like when it's not supposed to happen, right? It's like death is supposed to happen, but in our ideal world, death happens when you're old. When it's
you want to die of old age, and not just like
when you're tired, you're fed up, and you're like, I just don't want to go on anymore. Let's just let it. Let's just
take me, and you're levitating. You're like,
just take me away.
Like Kanye at his like show, where it's like rising.
So. Yeah, I definitely have fear of death. I don't want to just accidentally die. You know what I mean? And like have missed out.
Yeah.
And be like, and people look at your life and they're like,
but then
is that all you did? Is that all you did?
You could be orbiting around and be like, well, now I know all the secrets of Area 51.
I mean, that's sick. That'd be beautiful.
But yeah.
Okay, if you could, let's just on this topic, if you died and you could be reincarnated into anything, what would it be? We'll do anything first and then anyone.
Like anyone or like an object?
So first thing is like, like any animal or whatever, or being or object or thing. And then the second one is like which specific person.
Animal?
Yeah, okay, let's do animal. What animal would you want to be reincarnated as? Just for fun.
Interesting. Like a cat, maybe, or something.
A cat?
I don't know.
What?
I feel like I don't want to be in the jungle, just like predators all around.
Oh,
I want to be like somebody's pet.
Oh,
I don't know, I
don't want to be taken care of, but also independent because that's what cats
independent,
are.
I guess. Or yeah,
interesting.
Like I don't want to be like a pet in a zoo or.
Okay,
and even the wild is like I want to become like what's it called, like a water buffalo, and then get eaten by alligators. Like nothing in like
So optimistic for your reincarnation as an animal. You're already like, life is tough.
like maybe
I just want to be a house cat.
Yeah, like a gerbil, like in the ground or something, just like hanging.
A gerbil? I would be like maybe a bird or something that could fly.
Oh, a bird. Yeah.
Yeah, then you can
bird,
fly.
yeah.
That's sick.
But
like
then
an
what if you
eagle
become
or-
like a fucking trash pigeon?
Hey, at least I can fucking fly. And I
It's
could,
true.
speaking of all the dreams of my dreams of flying, I could finally fly.
I want to be Sasquatch, like the
Just out in the Rockies.
just like walking and just turning around and then walking again.
Okay. And so if you could be any human in any point in time of history, let's say,
Interesting.
that's maybe a tough question. But
But it's like what like human. It's like
what do you think would be the funnest, like,
the funnest human.
yeah, like okay, if you're gonna be reincarnated and you can choose, I guess you'd pick something that'd be like, yo, this is like the coolest life.
Maybe I'd be like a fighter, like a MMA fighter. So I could be like,
Oh, that's such a tough life.
I know, but it's like, and then you get to fight.
But okay,
I
so
just wanna
like
have
anyone
the
in
feeling
anyone
of
in,
winning belts.
okay, anyone in particular? Like which one? Which fighter?
No, I don't want to be I'll be a. I'll be.
I'm saying you're being reincarnated as someone specific.
a specific person.
I guess a celebrity per se, like someone that everyone knows. So if it's a UFC fighter, I guess it could be like, you want to be George St. Pierre?
So
That'd be pretty sick.
yeah, it would be a champ.
You'd be a champ. You'd be well respected. You'd be loved. You'd still be living in Quebec.
Yeah. Or like I could be like Max Holloway because he's like super cool.
Hey, from Hawaii. That's pretty
Hawaii, he's
sick.
like mahalo.
Mahalo.
I don't know, just like I don't know. I feel like or like would there be like a person that you'd be like or like reincarnate and get the job that maybe you've never done or wanted to do,
Nah, fuck that about getting the job. It's not about jobs.
or just like a weird job. Like for example, I have some weird attraction like war photography.
war photography.
Yeah, just being like in like following troops and just being like
Okay,
there.
interesting.
I don't know why, but I feel like there's so much war in my family, but that's why maybe there's
Interesting.
just like, it's like you can die anytime. You're just part of the war, just
yeah.
capturing the wildest things,
Whoa, that's a good answer.
yeah.
That's cool.
Or like a reporter on like, on the grounds of like someplace, but war is not that cool, but it's just,
I mean, no,
it's like
war's
one of
not
those
cool,
weird
but-
jobs,
Yeah.
or like it could be like a special ops kind of like, or like a narco type of SWAT team where you just
Oh my God, such,
go fight
such
the cartel.
serious, aggressive,
No,
like,
I want to be a serial killer detective. Oh, I want to be like Denzel in The Little Things.
I think it sounds cool, but it's like probably so sad and so tiring.
It's like yeah. Like, I guess the movies are cool, or
Yeah.
criminologists. Is that what they do? Criminal. I forgot the word.
Criminologue.
Criminal. But something like in that, I want to chase a serial killer and then be like, I found you.
Yeah.
Like I found the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could reincarnate as a
not have-
Zodiac killer.
Not have thought. I think I would probably maybe go for like a professional athlete type thing.
LeBron James.
No. Oh, I would be able to dunk finally. Again, another
you should be
dream.
Caruso.
I need to be a bird and someone like a basketball player who can dunk, and then all my literal dreams like would be realized, and that would be incredible.
That'd be sick. A basketball player.
But maybe like, because I always like fantasize about like, you know how sick it would be to like, let's say you were like a professional tennis player or something. Do you know what I mean? Because like they just travel around the world all year long.
Yeah.
They're always like like going to like the summer of wherever it is because they often play outside.
Yeah.
So you're just like working out. You're like in shape all the time. You're like traveling. You're playing like a fun sport. You know, you're
It's
like
hard though. Like,
It's of course it's
practice.
no, of course it's hard and all the practice, but like, man, like your family travels with you. Like I'm talking about like a successful like you're
like you're-
Nadal or
Yeah.
Rafa or
I don't know. I feel like a basketball player would
Those
be
are the
sick. If I just want to be able to celebrate and win the chip, and then just do the whole like
imagine being reincarnated as like Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time.
and a really big gambler of all time.
okay, it's kind of like a side little thing of him, but yeah, he has a lot of things before that. But yeah,
I would be Dirk Nowitzki.
Like imagine if you were being reincarnated as Shaq, like just like one of the biggest people of all time.
But they have terrible feet.
Yeah, you got bad feet.
What it feels like to win like one of the hardest championships or belts, or like like even an NFL player, like minus all the CT and stuff, but just winning a Super Bowl. I just want to know that feeling of like I worked so hard and it's like we won this game and we're the champion. It's just like I don't know. I want to feel that, like, and then nobody's gonna be able to feel that unless you do that. I just want to know that feeling.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
winning the biggest thing,
I kind of like how the conversation went from fear to like rebirth and reincarnation.
I know it's like a full circle, the circle.
But I feel like there's more to say on fear.
Fear.
Like, what are some of your other? Do you have other biggest
getting
fears?
stabbed 50 times?
That's so specific.
Well, it's just painful.
There's no way that's one of your specifically biggest fears is to get stabbed specifically 50 times
or die painfully. Like not like normally, but just like it's like a long death.
You're scared of that?
It's painful. Mine is like it's just a painful long death. Like die by diarrhea. Like you're like
these are just bad ways to die. That's not something that you're genuinely like scared of.
Or do you know what I mean? I'm actually scared of getting in a car crash.
So that's something that actually like you think about.
Well, what if you get in a car crash and like you're fucking cut in half?
Okay, yeah, that'd be. I've been in a car crash.
Or no, not being able to see is a fear.
Ooh, losing your eyesight.
Because a lot of my stuff that I do is very visual.
Yeah.
Or scared that the world kind of like becomes like bad because of climate change. Because it's more for me. Because I have a kid, right? It's like I want them to have a good future, and it's like that's a legit fear of like, what if the world is like a mess? It's like
that's one of those things.
Wars. It's like Terminator. It's like Elon Musk turned Tesla into Skynet, and it's like Terminators because that's what it's heading with the robots. And imagine it becomes like Terminator for real, and it's like fuck, our kids are gonna live in like a wild war, like. Or being caught in the war kind of thing, because I feel like there's other countries that are in really bad places, but it's like, things can happen. Like what's gonna happen after like I'm gone? Like how is the shape of the world? Just to be like, okay, I know specifically that my kids are good.
For your daughter.
Like she's, we've built like renewable energy with trash or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a kid, right? So
like the future.
The future for them and being scared for them, that's real. I have nephews and that's that was a scary thing to think about. Climate change is, I feel like, one of those things where
you're dead, right? So
so it doesn't matter. It's more the anticipation, but like climate change is a huge fear, but I feel like it's one of those things that we're all, not everyone, because some people think about it more than others, but I feel like we're all kind of like putting it off. I don't have daily climate fear, like climate change fear. I know some people do, but I feel like because you still like
pretty safe.
We know we're fucked. No. We know we're fucked.
Yeah,
but it's
not happening to us now.
And it couldn't just accidentally happen tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like we know it's going to happen maybe in like 25 years or 50 years.
I don't know. So we talk about fear of death, fear of like going crazy, fear of the apocalypse for children, Terminator 4.
Do you think that you are a fearful person?
Fearful? Like people fear me?
No. Like a fearful person as in you are often just like scared of things in general.
I think it's just anxiety, a lot of it. But yeah, I guess
like do you fear like
I do have
not the kind of like your biggest fear that I'm talking about, but like just like a sense of fear.
The only sense of fear is like breaking some routines of like I have like certain things I do or routes that I take because of like there's less traffic or there's less cars, so chances of me hitting another car is low. I don't know. It's like I feel like that plays in with my anxiety that I have, which is a lot better than before. But I don't know, like as in general, I don't live in fear a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess, I'm not a fearful person in the sense of like, I'm just scared of literal things.
Yeah.
But I think I have a lot of mental and emotional fear that I have, like, so for example, like fear of rejection,
Oh yeah.
fear of,
I think we all have that.
I don't know. I think there are a lot of people who don't.
This, you're a pimp. I'm never rejecting you.
But like fear, fear of like not being
Not
accepted,
performing or not fitting in. Yeah, I do have that. Like
I think I have a lot.
I think
of
we
that.
have a lot of those fears of like, what if nobody likes me and it's all a thing? And
But it's weird because I'm not necessarily like, I'm a relatively confident person, but I do have these fears that exist.
it's self-doubt.
Yeah,
It's all these insecurities.
Man, it's linked into our conversation last week about like imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, yeah. It's just insecurities. And I think I still have insecurities or how I'm perceived or
It's all fear of the unknown, right? That's what it really is.
anxiety.
But some people love, some people, that's why like, okay, like I don't know what kind of person you are, but I'm not a very,
You don't know me?
no, I don't know if you're a very spontaneous kind of person. I'm not the most spontaneous.
Yeah, I can be spontaneous.
I'm a little more planned and like I like knowing in advance and like, because I like knowing things because I guess it's that fear of the unknown
Yeah.
is where things are like, if I don't know it, then I can't prepare and I can't like, so
Yeah, I have that. Like, just I need to prepare things too. Where it'd be like, oh, I need to like know how I get there, and then like just not just going like, oh well, I'm just gonna drive and then figure it out. I feel like I need to prepare a bit.
but it's so like it's almost counterintuitive with the kind of person that I am.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a very like carefree, wing it kind of person. Like I
It's
like winging
different,
things.
though. It
Yeah, but
depends
it's
on
different.
wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love winging things, just like, oh, I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But I also don't like the spontaneity of having to. But
like, hey, let's go and like or pack your bags. We're going on a road trip.
Okay, if someone did say that to me, I would be like, yo, I'm fucking down. But no one ever does that.
Yo, let's pack your bags. We're leaving.
I would be so down because I would feel like that person has a plan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if I
maybe we should start living like
living
that.
our lives,
living
Johnny.
our lives a day at a time, and just go with the
going
flow,
off.
and just go like do things, and not be just like just live it, just be.
But
in
some
it,
people do live like that,
immerse.
right? They're like, let's say, great example, they have a new job, right? And they're like, I'm so excited for this new job. I'm so happy. I can't wait. I'm not like that. Two weeks out from like the job that I currently work at now, before I started, I was a complete mess of like fear and anxiety and like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't do it? It's just all self-doubt.
It's like new things, and
That's the thing.
You were used to this other place, and then you're
hate it.
Oh my god, it's breaking my routine. But that's
good.
It's good. It's
I
like
know.
it's like a good. You're petrified.
I don't know
terrified.
why I'm like that though, Johnny. Why am I like that? I wish I weren't like that.
We're all like that, I think.
No,
Some
we're
people
not.
are-
Not everyone is like
well,
that.
not everyone, but I think I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I see myself with what you're saying. No, just part of life. And then you do it, and it's like, well, that was not that bad.
No, like we've said before, it's never as bad as it is in your head.
I know.
But
So we got to start. We got to change, move those files around, go into the settings,
Reorganize.
and then put it into like bright mode instead of dark mode.
and then label everything. a
Label
different color,
everything,
and then
color.
sort by alphabetical
Yeah.
order and arrange it and clean it.
Sometimes it just takes like a little trigger or a little incident or something that just you're like, well, that's not that bad. Now I know I experienced it, and I can go in with no fear, live your life, and then start yelling, start screaming things.
Yeah, insecurities are fucked up.
It's just it's so like the biggest dangers in life. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
And it's like they make you not do things. Like I know how you feel like so it's like I gotta go there. It's like I don't want to find parking, and it's like that's enough for me to be like I'm not gonna go. You know,
Yeah, overthinking.
like
the
I remember
outcome
there was
and
like an event I had to go to, and I was driving there, and I had an anxiety attack. I was like, oh, I gotta find parking.
Why is parking such a big fear for you?
I just hate traffic. I don't know. It's not parking, but it's like
It, like,
I remember like,
stresses
it
you
was
out.
just more like so much traffic. I drove around and I can't find, and I was like, I just went home.
Was it like going to be a fun event, or was it going to be something?
It was like a hike with friends, and I just
Okay,
bailed,
wow.
and I said like I can't come. I just had an anxiety.
Now, did that make you feel good to bail and go home, or you felt worse?
I felt better to go home, but I
Interesting.
felt bad that we're not going.
Yeah.
And but it was just more like it's like weird things like that it kind of triggers, and then it just happens. You're like, why am I being such a bitch? But then it's like
That's the thing. It's like, where does it come from? Why do we feel that way? What is it? I don't know.
space. But then it's like when you do it, it's like, oh, it's fine. Once you do the thing that
Yeah,
you're
yeah. It's
scared
never
of,
actually.
it's like not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So
I feel like our life lesson that we continue to realize and learn is just like,
just be yourself.
man, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Nobody
it's
cares.
never as bad.
Nobody
as-
cares. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Like
So much easier said
that's what
than
we're
done.
doing with weird feelings. Like people, I feel like people have told me where it's like, man, you guys kind of like let a lot of things out and share so much. And some people like they don't do that. And I feel like when we come, we just do it and like we release something in the atmosphere or the world, and then it's out there. And I don't care. Like I literally like I'm like, well, I said it. Well, whatever. And now
Yeah, I mean, I only hope that anything that we say is hopefully relatable and or
Yeah.
help someone else be like, oh shit, I've been through that too, and I don't know.
yeah, but yeah, that's on the topic of fear. Have you ever feared your dad?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I've been in moments of like, oh shit,
I'm scared of you.
why have you?
Yeah, I have. I remember this specific moment.
Yeah, you have a specific story.
I had printed like these photos of naked women.
Oh hey, I've done that too back in the day.
Like back in the day with 56K kilobytes per second.
Black and white.
It was like it was like on one of those like it was like pre-Pornhub. It
Oh yeah, way before
was
all
like
that.
free ones or
Just
something.
random
Just porn.
Random
And I was
website.
like in like what, like high school, I think.
Yep.
And then
Early,
and then I would sneak it, like I would have like this like secretive binder that had things, and I would go to the bathroom and I would look at it, and then I was discovering myself.
that reminds me. I remember I printed out some photos, and it was just like, it wasn't even probably like nude. It was just like hot girls.
It was
and,
Jenna Jameson I remember.
okay, I probably had like Pamela Anderson and a couple other
Nice.
things, but I remember I printed them out, and then I had left them in like my drawer at home.
Yeah.
And then we went away for the summer, and I remember the feeling of coming back from the summer, like being away for a month and coming back and like going back to the drawer and like pulling it and being like, here they
I would
are.
hide it under like my bed. So that time I went and I went to the bathroom, look at it, but I don't know what I did. I forgot them. I just left them like somewhere in the bathroom like area, like on the shelf or something.
Oh no.
And then my dad goes in and he sees it, and I saw the look in his eyes, like
You saw him see it.
he's like, and he start ripping them. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh.
Then I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And he's like, "Go to your room." It was like, it's just like a stare, like a death stare. It's like,
shit.
It's like, oh shit, my son is into porn.
Well, I mean, worse things
I
could
know,
happen,
but it was just more like maybe if his fear was like, you'd explain him about reproduction.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to deal with this
Yeah.
right now. I have to talk about the birds and the bees.
But yeah, he just ripped everything. He's like, oh man, you know how long that took me to print? And it's like,
And how expensive that
yeah,
ink was.
so much ink. And
Was it color? Was it color or black and
It was
white?
color. And maybe he was mad because I was wasting ink
It could have
on
been.
porn.
It's his money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised he wasn't like found them and was like, go to your room. You can't have these. And then like pocketed them for
No, he just
himself.
he just boiled and then ripped it. And then it's like,
Imagine you like go into his room late at night and he's just like
he has
them
them.
back together. He's just like,
Yeah.
come in Electra.
But yeah, well, I was talking about, dad's fears, but it's like Shang-Chi, right? He was terrified of his dad.
And what did that lead to?
Nothing.
Exactly.
You saw Shang-Chi, right?
I did.
Yeah.
You doing a nice little Shang-Chi transition? If you haven't seen Shang-Chi, we're about to review it. So spoilers ahead. It's a new movie. So if you don't want to know what happens or why we feel a certain way about it, don't listen to this. But also do listen to it.
Yes.
Let's do a movie review.
Yeah, we haven't had one in one of those cool Dennis
Shang-Chi.
ones, but this is like recent. It's a big movie, big box office hit.
Yep.
You should definitely go see it just to support the cast. The
Sure.
Asian representation and all that. It's cool that they made a movie.
But you're going to it
MCU.
hard right away.
No, I'm just saying like that's the best part of the movie.
I'm just saying you can feel there's a big butt coming.
The butt is coming. It was a bad movie for me. Besides,
I feel like you feel this way, the same way that you do about the transracialism. I feel like you got a similar like.
it's like I
triggered
love the
again.
fact that it was like we're represented in it as actors. Well, they're all Chinese, but I'm not Chinese.
Well, okay, so your problem is the representation a little bit.
No, I think that's fine because we need that. But as far as like it's not like it was like a Filipino person or a Cambodian,
Right.
Or Vietnamese.
But I would pose the question like, okay,
But it's a start. It's a start.
yeah, why can't a film be like, so it's a very Chinese centric Asian film?
Yeah,
Why can't that be that one?
I
You know
feel
what I mean?
it's
Like why does the Asian movie? Why does Shang-Chi have to cover
China.
every single Asian country and ethnicity? Why does that film have to do all of that? Why couldn't you? All right, you have Shang-Chi, and why can't you have another one where it's a Filipino superhero and then it's a Cambodian one, or it's like a mix? And it's like,
but I feel like it's the market that the Marvel is trying to capitalize on.
yes,
It's like the
Chinese funding for sure.
Market, right? And
But it's
like,
money, yeah.
and it's also the audience or the viewers are more accustomed to like those movies, like Chinese movies or like kung fu movies,
Yeah.
and that. And I feel like it's like a easy bridge for them to see that movie. It's like there's like foreign language, there's subtitles. Like if you haven't really looked at international cinema, like to me, like that was just like it was just a Chinese Marvel movie in the MCU and not like
Right.
a big, like I've seen tons of Asian movies from every country, so it wasn't more like as a viewer I was like I've seen that movie many times, like the same plot
yeah,
and all that, and the only good thing because it was made by Disney and Marvel and it's like part of North America, like
yeah, it's on like center stage.
yeah, it's
I
not
think.
like it was made in China and it's like a Chinese movie. This is like they actually took the time
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
cast Asian Americans or I guess seemingly use Canadian. Great.
Okay,
Tony
Lung
Lung. Awesome.
never goes wrong.
OG. The bus fight scene, one of the best I've seen.
Impeccable.
It was great. A fight choreography and then some respects to like Jackie Chan stunts and movies. Great. The butts. I feel the characters weren't strong enough. Like I feel the main
Character, not physically, but
not physically, but I just feel like they weren't as present on screen. I felt Aquafina's role didn't make. She was just there for the jokes. The villains had no depth. They were just, like I would have wished they would have had more of a story with the trainer ninja with Shang-Chi. Like that was a cool
cool character.
but they just don't stop fighting. They didn't feel mean. They were just like villains, right? They were just like bad guys, and they had like no like charm or like that. And then like I felt like there was like a lot of elements that I was like, it's not really pushing Asian culture. It's like, there's karaoke. He's taking off his shoes to go to somebody's house. There's dragons. There's a lot of kung fu, and
yeah, it's all like
it's just like surface level.
it was all like okay, yeah, I
Like
feel
the girl with the laptop that loves like studying or like doing her job right.
yeah. To me, it feels like one big like these are Asian stereotypes.
Yeah.
Kung fu, dragons, karaoke, DDR, like, yeah, taking your shoes off before you go, like, just like, and like you said, the laptop being like the girl's thing, and just like, oh, Asian parents wanting their kids to be ultra successful, or like doctors or whatever, like.
Yeah, like I was watching and I was like, it's not, to me, like as a viewer and being Asian, I was like, it's not really pushing anything new to an audience.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we've seen all the kung fu movies and all that. And,
That's what Asian representation has been in the film industry forever. It's like, oh, cool, yeah, Asians do kung fu, or they're nerds, or they're like all these stereotypes, right?
It's like, it's like when Jackie Chan had movies in the US and we know Jackie Chan is a kung fu artist, people would make fun of me, be like, oh yeah, you're Asian, kung fu, Jackie Chan. And it's like,
yeah.
But now it could be just like, hey, kung fu, Shang-Chi.
Cool.
But it's like, no, like put me like, I don't know, like,
why can't it just be a fucking regular, just a person living their lives, and it doesn't have to be about like, they're not a kung fu master, and it's not like, that there's no like ancient Chinese temple, and there isn't like a dragon, and there isn't like, why can't it just be a superhero who happens to be Chinese and who lives his life the way he does, and it's just like
in Chinatown or something.
Whatever. It doesn't even have to be in China, just wherever he lives. I mean, Asians live fucking everywhere. They don't have to be in Chinatown. Why do they?
Yeah, maybe I'm not helping.
Yeah, you're not helping.
Yeah, but I feel like, but it's just, like that's part of Chinese culture, like all of that stuff.
True.
But it's not part of my culture.
So I went with 4 other friends, and they're all Asian, right? So one of them, one is Filipino, one is Cambodian, and then 2 are Chinese, right?
Oh yeah, so how did the Chinese?
So the Chinese girl who I was with, and I won't say her name, but you know who you are, you listen to this podcast, she loved it. She was like, this is great. This is like representation. This is like so exciting, so cool. Obviously she loves Tony Leung. I mean, we all do. She had like a little bit of criticism here and there, but I think she really enjoyed it.
But see, like I feel like that movie hits all of the check marks of a Marvel movie. Like any Marvel movie, it has it's like a copy paste formula from Thor to like Captain Marvel.
Did you hear Denis Villeneuve say that?
Maybe.
You're just saying what he said.
But it's true though.
I'm challenging you now. Why did you expect anything other than a Marvel movie going into it?
I expect that they would kind of like push the culture side a bit more. Like I feel
But it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah, but I feel like Black Panther had that. Like they had that crazy soundtrack. There was a lot of good things with it.
To me, it's still a Marvel film. And it has good elements to it that are representation and a lot of like how it's made and who made it and all the people in it. Yeah. But it's still just like a Marvel movie machine to sell the agenda. Like,
but it felt better produced and like the story was way better. The characters had a bit more
way more depth and development
and grit, and the bad guy was super dope.
That's true.
Versus like Shang-Chi's like the bad guy's his dad.
Okay, let's talk about the bad guys.
And it's like his dad. It's just him being mad at him and not expressing himself.
Yeah, isn't that a weird, like the villain is a father, but it's not like a father who's gone pure evil. It's like, it's just your dad who's upset at you.
But see, I thought he killed his mom or something.
Nope.
And then it was just like, oh, it just happens that he had gambling debts and the thugs killed his mom.
And then again, speaking of villains, like the villain is like the representation of everything that's evil in the world and everything that's bad. And it's just this thing it's like has no, like, I know it has a name, but it's like that villain is completely inconsequential. It's just like, there's a big bad guy and it's evil and we have to beat it because it's bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like, and it's behind this wall and
it's coming for us. And we don't know why, but it's coming.
That's weird. That part turns into like a Godzilla versus like Mothra.
Yeah.
And it's like it had like weird like never ending story type of dragon too. I don't know, like that part was like, it's like it turns into a different movie. It's like,
can I be honest?
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep?
I fell asleep in theaters, which I don't know if I've ever done. Now, granted, this was like it was like a 9:30 screening, which for me is pretty late, and I was like exhausted from the weekend. But yeah, I was passing in and out.
I won't lie. There was a moment that I was like, "Can this end?" And I was like, because I knew what it was coming to. I was like, I'm gonna see a dragon, and it's gonna fight this demon, and it's like, hey, people are gonna start throwing bows and arrows at it, and that's what happened. There was a lot of elements that I enjoyed, like little nods to like the scaffolding fight to like Jackie Chan films, you know.
Okay, that's a funny thing that you mentioned that. So they're leaning on the bamboo, right? And
Yeah.
it's like bending and bending. And in my head, I was like, well, bamboo doesn't break. It's not going to break. I think that's a callback to like Rush Hour.
Yeah, to Rush Hour when they're fighting the scaffolding.
Yeah, and it's like the bamboo's bending and it like doesn't actually break.
Yeah.
And like in my head, it was ingrained that like they're fine. The bamboo won't.
But I think they use a stuntman or a fight coordinator that was it Jackie Chan's.
Oh yeah, that's
Fight
cool.
coordinator. But the fighting like was super on point, like all the
Dude, the bus scene and
The bus scene was sick.
the reference to Old Boy with like the side angle scrolling shot. That was so cool.
That was good. The beginning was good.
And that moment in the bus when he just like flexes or whatever, and it just like it hits, and you're like his power comes out basically. And, And Aquafina's character is looking at him like, what the
What's
fuck?
going on? Yeah.
Like that was so cool. It felt like that to me felt like a Spider-Man moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Peter Parker has his powers and he's using it. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
then,
that was dope.
And then they jam in Wong from Doctor Strange, who's
Yeah.
a really cool actor. Like, why is that character fighting in this thing? I feel they're like, well, he's Asian, so he has to be in the movie. So we'll make him fighting at the beginning so that at the end,
Well, they tie him into like the whole story in the MCU, right?
I know.
I said I put it at the same level as Captain Marvel.
That's really bad.
I give this a 6 on 10.
I think Captain Marvel's maybe lower than that.
Like all he did was tell his dad that he's not scared of him anymore. He hasn't grown. He just told him like, I'm not scared of you, and he saved the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
He hasn't like
Yeah, that's not character development.
yeah, he's not developing. Like he just ends up going to the place with Benedict Wong's character.
Yeah, he's like,
he's just like,
well,
all
Dad,
this thing happened and that's it.
Dad, I'm not scared of you anymore. So I've grown. All right, I'm gonna go save the world with the rest of the Avengers.
Like for example, like Hawkeye, you know, like he has like a vengeance where it continues to another Marvel movie where it's like, I'm gonna go kill all the people because you know there's like something that keeps building. But this one is just like he's just leaving. And it's like that happened and that's it. Like I said, it hits all the cookie cutter Marvel film. Everything is in it. The CGI.
So I would give it a similar, like,
Rating?
yeah, I guess a 6.
Yeah, 6 on
6.5 maybe. I don't
But still
know.
go see it and support it. It did really well at the box office.
I wasn't let down because I did not expect anything really good from it. I never really think that any of the Marvel movies are really great either way. So again, to me, this is just like easy entertainment. It's
Yeah.
like easy watching, easy, but it's just, I wish that it could be better. It could still be way better. I know you said that Aquafina's character was just there for the jokes, and like that's what her role always is in movies because she is funny.
But she's us. She's supposed to tell us like she's like the normal one, right? And she's the one that.
But I do think that it was good that she was a main character, right? She wasn't a side character, like in Crazy Rich Asians and in
she's a
like
side
all sorts of
character.
other things. She just like pops in and out of the movie. She's like number 2 or 3 or 4 on like the ballot kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, like she has tons of dialogue the entire time, right? So even though she was there and she's still like a comedic character, I think it was nice to see her get like a bigger role because she's so fucking good, right? Just like no matter what.
I like
she's
her as
good.
an actress. Like she's done great movies and I don't know. I just felt like it was just more like forced to me because it's like she doesn't really do it either from shooting the arrow at the end through the throat.
Yeah,
and she learned how to shoot an arrow after
That I
3
did.
hours or something.
Yeah, I did not like.
It was like, yeah.
Why does she have? She doesn't have to. She could still be there doing something. She doesn't have to learn how to shoot arrows in like 2 days. Like another, just on casting again and like actors.
Yeah.
We've already mentioned Tony Leung. I found that
He was good. He killed it.
He was good, but to me it was so weird seeing him in an American film because I think this is his first like Hollywood American production.
Yeah.
and like where he's speaking English like the majority of the time, right?
Yeah.
I know, like actually, I
he's-
thought it was interesting that the movie starts off in Chinese and is Chinese for like a while, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's impressive for like a Marvel film to like fully commit to full on Chinese with subtitles. But it felt like they did that to make China happy. And then as soon as like we got into it, they're like, and we don't need to talk Chinese anymore.
No, but I feel
now
like-
everyone speaks English.
But sorry to talk over you, but I feel like it's a good way for them to introduce the people that are used to foreign films and be like, hey, like this is like good and I can understand, I can read it. Maybe it'll open doors to them exploring different films. I don't know, like, oh, if there's like
Oh,
a
interesting.
redneck down south, like, well, all this.
Hey, or any other film that Tony Leung is in, like one of my favorite films of all time, In the Mood for Love, Wong Kar-wai.
Yeah.
Shout outs. Just saying.
You know, like I felt more represented by the thugs that kills like Shang-Chi's mom. I was like, yo, those guys are like me.
That's me.
That's me, jungle Asian. Like we're crooks.
I mean, I felt like I was properly represented by the villain with the one arm who had the knife, you know? That was
so
me.
jacked.
Just jacked random white dude with one arm. But he
Yeah, they're
was-
forgettable. It's like it's not like, you know, Thanos is such like a presence or what's his name in Black Panther, Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Like he was so cool. It's Michael B. Jordan is just like
yeah.
you know, it's like
Yeah,
such
dope
a
character.
so present in the film. But like these villains, it's like yeah,
All right.
but yeah. But that's our take. That's my take on Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings.
It's kind of cool to review something that's very like that's out right now that other people can go watch. So like if you guys haven't watched it,
Or if you've watched it, just let us know what your thoughts. Like, do you agree with what I said, what Tim said?
yeah, I mean I've
What
heard
is your take on it?
yeah, what's your take? I've heard from lots of people that they really liked it.
Yeah,
so-
I've heard people give 10 on 10s, and
Yeah.
I gave a solid 6 on 10. Let's talk.
Let's talk
argue
about
or
it.
Discuss. Open conversation. That's why, you know,
Change your mind.
Not everything needs to be great. Like, I don't need to like everything.
True.
It's a good chat, buddy.
Good chat. Hey man.
Talk about our fears,
What are we scared of?
death,
Reincarnation, rebirth,
rebirth,
and Asian representation
in Marvel films.
We haven't even done a song again. Just close this out.
Sure.
I'm scared of my daddy.
D-A-D-D-Y.
Scared of my daddy.
D-A-D-D-Y.
Is he gonna beat me?
No, he won't.
Is he gonna find my porn?
Hanging on the toilet seat all day long.
Daddy, don't find my porn.
My porn.
Daddy, don't find my porn.
The internet.
Don't rip it up. I was gonna use it to masturbate.
It took me
Daddy, don't rip my porn.
took a while to print.
Daddy, don't rip my porn.
It took a while to print.
I was gonna bust on the page.
And this is just another song about my daddy finding porn.
Daddy, don't find my porn.
P-O-R-N.
Daddy, don't find my porn.
Oh yeah, I'm scared.
Daddy, don't find my porn.
I found it. And I'm gonna rip it now.
All right.
That's it?
That's it. Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
Bye, Johnny.
Bye, Tim.
Love you, man. Bye.
Love you, man. Bye.
Love you.
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Love you, brother. Love you, brother. All right.
All right.